Does anybody actually know the lyrics to the Love Hurt song?
Get that stuff out of here. It's Southwest Bias.
Welcome into another edition of Southwest Bias, brought to you by our friends at the Husband and Wife Law Team. If you've had a serious injury, call the Husband and Wife Law Team first at 602-783-8841, or visit their link in our show notes and tell them PHNX sent you. And we are live from Studio K, brought to you by our friends at Circle K. Become a member of the Inner Circle today for free by downloading the Circle K app and start saving money on fuel, drinks, food, and so much more. Are we just looking for things to complain about? It's ironic that I'm asking that because it sounds like I'm complaining about complaining. I understand, but I feel like that's the part that we are in this world right now is it's just let's find something to complain about. And I feel like we're there with the Arizona Cardinals. Jeremiyah Love, obviously, out with an ankle injury. And that is something that's bound to happen in football. Let's be honest. Football is the sport that when you sign up to play, you know an injury will happen. It's not if, it's when. It's how is it going to happen and how severe is it going to be. Nobody's going to make it through a season without dings, scratches, and all sorts of injuries that are going to happen. So why are we sitting here with people complaining about how we got here? Now, I want to take a look at a quote that Mike LaFleur had. Do we have that quote graphic, Kevo, that I had put in there that Mike LaFleur had in terms of, Jeremiyah Love's performance in the preseason game against the Raiders? He said he had a good time, and really for him, his confidence level went through the roof after that third drive. And it's just unfortunate that on the last play, he gets somewhat rolled up on. The reason you play Jeremiyah Love, the number of snaps that they did, and you get him, 11 carries and 3 receptions, is to build that confidence. That's the reality of it. And the ankle injury, whether it happened on the first play or the 14th touch that he had, is unfortunate. And I understand that some people are going to complain about Mike LaFleur's decision, but the reality is whether it's first play of the game or 14th, it doesn't matter. The injury could have happened at any point. And if it had happened at the first part, are you really going to complain, oh, we shouldn't have played in the preseason? I thought it was interesting the way that Mike LaFleur handled the injury news the day after the game when he said this about the ankle injury.
He came in yesterday a little bit more sore than he left. He was in great spirits even yesterday. I think you guys met with him or something like that. But we'll keep him out this week, as we just let it heal. So a little bit more sore than we were anticipating.
So seemed like it wasn't a major concern. And honestly, Mike LaFleur, MLF, has been very honest with the media and forthcoming. And if he can't say something, he'll even say, hey, sorry, I can't get into more details on that. But he's been very upfront. But then we get this Schefter tweet yesterday that I think shocked some Cardinals fans when Adam Schefter tweeted, Cardinals rookie running back Jeremiyah Love is dealing with a high ankle sprain per sources. It makes it unlikely Love plays again this preseason, with the team hoping he can return for the September 13th regular season opener versus the Chargers. Now, I've talked to some athletic trainers and talked to them about these high ankle sprains before, usually about NBA players, but the same pertains here. And it depends on the degree at which it happened. Like the ankle injury, what's the level of it? This sounds like it was probably like a level 1 that takes 2 to 4 weeks based on what I talked with the sports medicine professionals that I consulted with about these kind of things. And if that's the case, all right, he sits out the rest of the preseason and hopefully he's ready for week 1. Now you'll probably hear he's in a boot or he's on crutches. That will come this week. Somebody will report that. And that is okay because that is typical with this kind of thing. You want to keep the weight off the ankle for 1 or 2 weeks to try to let that heal without the extra pressure of that, or at least have it in a boot. That will happen. That is not something to freak out about. That is a natural course of action with this. So when that happens, understand that. But the internet went totally haywire about it. And I don't know why I expect any different, including some members of the media that just kind of lost their minds over this. And, oh, my God, he's going to be gone for 3 to 4 months. This rookie season is in trouble. Mike LaFleur, oh, my God, he screwed up horribly. Why is he playing him, giving him 14 touches in this game? I can't believe it. Again, if it happened on play one, are these same people going, oh, my God, he shouldn't have played him in preseason at all? We've seen what happens when you don't play guys in the preseason much time. You are not ready for week one. You are behind the 8 ball. We saw that the last handful of years. If you don't play guys in preseason, it is not good for you. And when it comes to running backs, let's be very clear. Playing flag football in practice does you no good, because you know what doesn't happen? Guys hitting you. You're not driving a pile. You're not trying to get away from a guy that is about to destroy you with a hit. Those are not things that happen. You do not get a real feel for the speed of the NFL game. So Mike LaFleur going out there and saying, I want this guy to get that feel for the game before we get into the regular season makes complete and utter sense. That's why you do it. So he's prepared for that week one. And as he said in that quote, by that third series, his confidence was there. He knew that he could compete in the NFL. It's a big part for a rookie. And then on Sunday, Mike LaFleur addressed the injury and had this to say and gave us a context clue to some of his thinking.
Yeah, I mean, it's a rookie that hadn't played, knowing that, not to share too many secrets because I haven't said it with the players yet, but knowing that it was about what it was going to be in terms of how many games these guys were going to play for what we were looking for. So, that's what the thought was.
I don't want to share too many secrets. That was the quote. I haven't told the rest of the players. To me, what that said in code was the only game that these guys were going to play. Guys like Jeremiyah Love and the starters, because wanted to get them some run, wanted to get them prepared, wanted to give them snaps, and in particular give Jeremiyah Love multiple carries and multiple passes. So he was ready because we're not going to play them much of anything the rest of the preseason. That's what that one context clue told me. That was his way of saying, look, I'm not prepared to tell you this because we haven't talked about it as a team, but I'm going to give you an idea of why he touched the ball so many times, why he played those snaps. And it involves the whole team, which means, guess what? Some guys aren't playing on Saturday. Some guys aren't going to play in Green Bay. That is what that leads me to believe. So then you definitely have to get Jeremiyah Love ready in that game and try to approach it the way that they did. Because if that's the only carries he's going to get, you want him to feel comfortable. You want him to have that confidence. You want him to go into week one trusting that he can make those moves, that he can do those things. The ankle injury was a fluke. The ankle injury could happen at any time, in any game, in any play. And if you're trying to avoid injuries in the NFL, you have a fool's errand because you can't avoid injuries. And it was a meaningless preseason game. Those touches were not meaningless to Jeremiyah Love getting comfortable in his first NFL season. If you were a Pro Bowl running back who had played 3 seasons and you went through this, okay, maybe that argument's valid. Maybe you give him 14 touches and he's already a third-year Pro Bowler. Then we can have that conversation. He's a rookie. He had never put pads on and stepped on an NFL field. That made sense to go through what they did. That's just the reality of football. Sometimes guys are going to get injured. And whether it happens now or in week one or on the first carry of preseason, it happens. So the freaking out over it, trying to question Mike LaFleur's ability to coach, all these things that we've seen seem utterly ridiculous to me. Because guess what? Everybody was just losing their mind over what Love was doing. We were talking about oh my gosh, look at what this guy is, the possibilities. And then a freak ankle injury on, towards the end of the first half. When a guy, if you look at it, it almost looks like an illegal tackle. Now, they didn't call anything on the field, but it did look like they rolled up on his ankle with an illegal tackle. It's going to happen. It was a fluke. But I'd rather have it happen now than in week 1, where then you're talking about, is he missing 1, 2, 3, 4 regular season games as he recovers from a high ankle sprain? Doing it in the early part of August with your first game on September 13th is probably the ideal situation to have it happen. And guess what? He could have got a high ankle sprain in practice. That could have happened. Like, there's no way to avoid it. There's no way that, one fewer carry. Yeah. In hindsight, you can always say that. Well, if they had just given one fewer carry, before he got injured, everything would be fine. Okay, play revisionist history. It doesn't get you anywhere. Like that, especially in this situation. I don't understand why that is the case that people are sitting there. Jeremiyah Love showed that he belongs in the NFL, gained his confidence, and guess what? An injury happens. All right, he heals, he comes back, and he plays yet again. Is it ideal? No, it's not ideal. No injury is ideal. I mean, Chase Pasantis is out for the year after an MCL tear. Should you not have given him any run in the preseason? Like, I believe their first 4 picks in this draft are all out injured, and some of it happened before even preseason started. You're just supposed to wrap them in bubble wrap? Not play them, not understand what you have? Don't have them practice. You want this. You want that mentality? Go watch professional flag football that starts up this year. Guess what? You'll get injuries there too. But go watch that. I mean, hell, the 49ers are getting injuries because of a substation, everybody believes. It's not even in a game. It's in practice. They're dropping like flies. Oh, don't have them practice. It's Shanahan's fault for having them out on the practice field. Miss me with that stuff. This is not a Mike LaFleur problem. This is just the reality of football. Guys get banged up. It's going to happen. And eventually, he'll be healthy, and we'll be right back where we were hoping. And hopefully that's for week 1 of the NFL season. And guess what? If it's not and it's week 2, so be it. Because that's the price you pay when you play football. That's the price you pay when you sign up, and that's the price that the Cardinals have to pay because they tried to do right by him by getting him ready for his first NFL start, likely in September. That's where we're sitting right now, and I'm fine with it. But maybe that's just my Southwest bias. We welcome in the Dreads behind the desk, Kevo. Kevo, I'm going to give you the rest of the show off because I don't want you to sprain a finger. I don't want you to pull a vocal cord. Look, I might not do the show anymore. We might sit here in silence the rest of the week because we don't want anybody getting injured. It's still football preseason.
As the great Drake once said, like a sprained
you could have
ankle.
stuck with the once great.
Nah, that's crazy to say. Iceman was really good. Like a sprained ankle. Boy, ain't nothing to play with. I feel like, you know what I mean? Like, as a guy, this is a very sensitive topic for me, Espo.
He's got a wrap right on his foot now, and the crutch is behind him.
I've spent a lot of time on the IR this summer, and still, because of a really, really bad ankle injury. So, I hope we don't see Jeremiyah Love until he's fully healthy, because what I don't want is a hampered Jeremiyah Love, one that might affect his confidence, and I do hope he gets back very soon, and I hope it was a very minor ankle injury. But yeah, man, these are tough. These are tough injuries. I have a whole new level of understanding for ankle sprains nowadays.
Yeah, was yours a high ankle sprain?
It was like they didn't tell me if it was high or not.
Yeah, no.
They didn't tell me the intoxication levels of my ankle. But,
they should.
They did say it was ankle and foot, so it's kind of like a wombo combo.
B says you only get better at football by playing football. I agree with that. Have you ever gotten better at anything without actually doing said thing? Like, I don't think there's anything that sitting and not doing it you can get better at or comfortable with.
Meditation.
Well, that's true. But you are doing something, you're meditating, and you're getting better at it. I mean, that's a fun workaround to try to catch me there. I appreciate that. But it's like saying, you know what? Those 10,000 hours you're supposed to do, forget that. You know what? 0 hours, and let's go do that. You think that they have student teachers? My daughter is a student teacher in her class. You know why? Because they learn by doing. Do you think that they just let a surgeon go operate on somebody without getting some practice in there, without learning? No, they don't do that. Like, nobody just gets thrown in and learns something without doing it. And when you have a rookie like Jeremiyah Love, that's what it is. Does it suck that he's injured? Sure, it does. But Kevo, like, are we supposed to put these guys in a bubble? I don't understand the argument that we're seeing and all that's going on out there.
I love what Matt, the power of Joe, is saying in the chat. The Dilly quote: "In order to play football, you have to play football before you can play football."
I mean, that I don't know if that's a real Dilly quote, but it certainly sounds like it could be. And that's the reality. Go out there, play the game, learn the game, get comfortable with the speed. Like, if he doesn't get injured, they don't play him again, and he comes out and has 100 yards in week 1. You think anybody's saying anything about 14 touches in preseason game 1, the one preseason game he played? No, nobody's not saying anything. They're probably saying Mike LaFleur's a genius because it obviously got him ready. But because of one fluke injury, it was just a bad decision that could cost the Cardinals. Oh my gosh. No, you want to say the Cardinals are jinxed? You want to say Arizona sports, apparently did something so horrible to start that the sports god said, we're just going to continually punish you into submission? Fine, we can have that discussion. I could buy into that more than, Mike LaFleur just really screwed up. Mike LaFleur didn't screw up. Nobody screwed up. I mean, maybe the Raider that with the tackle, that was a bad choice on his part, the way he did that. But other than that, nah, I ain't overly concerned, because when you start a season, you don't have the opportunity or the ability to start slow, especially when you're expected to be the worst team in the NFL. Get in the reps. I want to welcome in the entire bias. This show is as much your show as it is Kevo's and mine. You are a co-host on the program. Hello to Dave H., Emily, Schaff, Bees, Cardinal Cruiser, Dave H., everybody that's in here. We appreciate each and every one of you for being here. And Emily, I think, says it great here. Emily says, everybody needs to take a deep breath about Love. I think that's good advice for our Cardinals fans. I think that's good advice in relationships. Just take a deep breath when it comes to Love. Think through it. Don't overreact. Be gentle, be kind, and think calmly when it comes to it as well. That's really where I think. Drewski says, did Mike F. cost the Cardinals? Bro, no. Players have to play, especially rookies. Exactly. I agree. And the headline was meant to showcase how ridiculous some of these takes have been with it. And Shaft says, I was wondering if I saw that guy roll on his ankle. Those things happen. He'll be good to go. He did. Go back and watch that. That was not a natural play. He certainly rolled up on it. And Shaft says, hey, high ankle sprains can last anywhere from a week to 5 weeks. I had heard 1 to 4. So we're right in that area that can get him back for that September 13th game. Matt the Power Joe says, I know the lyrics to Love Bites by Def Leppard. We might have to use that one later in the year. I might call you up, Matt the Power Joe. We might be able to use that as right. And Chaff says, you're right that it depends on the grade of the sprain. Totally does. We haven't heard. And if anybody says, well, he tore it, guess what? All ankle sprains are tears. That's what they don't tell you. It's just the severity of a tear is what those levels are count for. It's how much did you tear the cartilage and stuff in your ankle there. Deborah says, I've been impressed with MILF telling it like it is. If the sprain was MLF, MILF, whatever. Telling it like it is. Kevo is losing it back there. Oops. If the sprain was high level 1, he would say, in my opinion. I would agree too. I think that will come out if it is as well. Biggs here saying these rookies need to play. NFL isn't college ball nor high school. They need to be NFL ready. Don't play the whole game, but play, which is exactly what I think as well. You got to look at it. You got to let them play. You got to understand what's going on. I did want to play one more clip, Kevo. Do we have the Michael Wilson clip? Because I think this encapsulates how the players feel about the way Mike LaFleur is approaching things.
Definitely there's an element of we got to see what it looks like in regular season, but I mean, I've never been a part of a team in preseason that's had those type of numbers, and I'd actually like to see like what the historical data on that is between two games. I mean, we're 15 of 15 in the first half between Gardner and Jacoby, and yeah, it seems like it's almost like plug and play. Like who's ever out there at wideout, who's ever out there at quarterback, it's like regardless, it looks the same, which is, to me, what that comes down to. I think that's a lot of that is coaching. Like it's players executing, but it's also getting the right calls in, the way that Mike and the offensive staff is detailing things up in the pass game, getting guys open, getting guys advantageous one-on-ones, and then from there, quarterbacks making the throws and receivers getting open. But a lot of that is scheme and just putting players in the right position to be successful.
If Michael Wilson is praising the coaching, the way they're getting prepared and the way they've played in preseason, I put a lot more weight into that than anybody else that's out there talking about the way he's handled things. That is a player that's been through it in his time here, and he's praising the coaching staff. In fact, he said it is the coaching staff, not, the players go out there and play, but it's the coaching staff that's put him in that position. I trust Michael Wilson's view of Mike LaFleur a lot more than any talking head that's going to try to tell you that Mike LaFleur was at fault and it was a giant mistake to play Jeremiyah Love. Big thank you to all in the bias. Hit that like button, hit the notification. If you're so inclined, hit the join button, become a member of the Supporters Club. $5 gets you that custom emojis and the badge next to your name. On the other side of halftime, we're talking greatness. Look, last night I had to get a car wash and I waited way too long, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to go to Circle K because I know I can trust them and I know they're open late to get this done. I went. It was fantastic. They took care of everything. My car looks great, and I got a nice little Coke Zero for the morning as well. It was a fantastic trip there, and part of it was because I'm a member of the Inner Circle, and I save money when I go to Circle K. It's super easy to sign up to become a member of the Inner Circle. You just download the app, put in a little bit of information, and bam, you are a member of the Inner Circle. You're going to save 25 cents off per gallon on your first 5 fill-ups. Then it's 3 cents off per gallon after that. Then you hit the dreads behind the desk level, 5 cents off per gallon. So you want to make sure you do that and join the Inner Circle for free by downloading that Circle K app today. Terms and conditions apply at participating locations. Visit CircleK.com for details and start saving now. And Kim Caballero. Look, I've got a neighbor down the street who can't seem to sell their house. They've had multiple agents and they just can't figure it out. And I want to go down there and say, look, there are plenty of real estate agents that are good in the state, but there's only one that's number one, and that's Kim Caballero. She's been in the state for 25 years in business, and now she's taking her expertise to help you buy and sell homes, and she wants to make sure that you are taken care of with a network of investors, builders, and developers. She's going to give you the inside insight on property potential, helping you see the opportunities that others are going to miss. She's the Adam Schefter of real estate in Arizona, an insider. Plus, when you work with Kim, your interests are the number one priority, and you're actually going to work directly with Kim. Kim and her husband have lived here in Arizona for 25 years, and she understands what truly matters when choosing a home. Let Kim put her local expertise to work for you. Call Kim Caballero today at 480-489-5012. That's 480-489-5012. And tell her PHNX sent you and the husband and wife law team. I talk to you about them at the beginning of every program. And that's because I believe in them when it comes to a serious accident or, God forbid, a wrongful death that happens to you and your family. And look, nobody can guarantee what's going to happen with your case, but there are some guarantees that can be made. And the husband and wife law team are proud to make them to you and all their clients. You can cancel your fee agreement at any time. This is important because unlike, I don't think you're going to run into this problem, but if you do, you have a reason that you need to leave, you can at any time. I was with a lawyer that I couldn't, and it was the biggest pain in my backside that I've ever had, even more than the accident. Then you're going to receive as much in your pocket as they receive for their fee, even if they have to reduce their fee to make that happen. Plus, you can speak with your attorney at any time And you can trust that your lawyer is going to tell you the weaknesses or strengths of your claim. So if you've had a serious injury, call the husband and wife law team first at 602-783-8841 or visit their website in our show notes and tell them PHNX sent you. I don't know who played halftime. I wasn't paying attention, but thank you to them. I hope you enjoyed it. Yada, yada, yada. Yeah, I just...
My Sharona.
I don't even... Who played My Sharona?
I don't know. That's why I sang it instead of saying the band name.
That's why
I was really
ignored
hoping you would help me there, Uncle.
Whoa, you really think I know early 80s? Thanks there.
Yes, I do, actually.
Wait... Fair enough. I probably do. Look, I got to talk about greatness here because it's rank week here at All City, and we are ranking all sorts of greatness. Best basketball players of all time dropped today. I have a problem with the 5 on the list, but you can go see it's national on that. We're going to have some local things like best villain, best uniforms. We'll talk about all that towards the end of the week. But what really got me thinking about greatness is the last 2 weekends. Last weekend, we had Larry Fitzgerald going into the Hall of Fame for the Pro Football Hall of Fame in Canton. This weekend, we had Amari Stoudemire and Mike D'Antoni going into the Hoops Hall of Fame in Springfield, Massachusetts. And then last night, we had Diana Taurasi going up in the rafters into the Ring of Honor for the Phoenix Mercury. And there was a moment, and Kevo and I went full Zapruder film on this, that ESPN caught Devin Booker and Diana Taurasi walking out the tunnel. And I'm 1,000% sure, Kevo and I feel this way, that she said, "You're next." And as she kind of glanced up to the rafters, and Booker did. My question, though, to you, Kevo, I'm interested in your thoughts in this. Is greatness simply what you accomplish on the court, or is there something more to it? Because you look at all these men and women that have been honored over the last few weeks in Arizona sports, and to me, it feels like there's a common thread beyond just being good in sports.
People like to, I think, believe that it's just what you do on the court, but I do think that there is an element to where, like, Diana Taurasi is just extremely well liked and well admired within a community, and I think that it feels like we're in a different era of greatness. I think because there are so many less athletes that stay in one community for an extended period of time to really entrench themselves in it. Because most athletes, when they enter a community, are like strangers, unless you're Pete, right? Unless you've been in the community for your whole life already. Most people either have heard your name or don't really know much about you. So I think, like, greatness is a lot more than just like what you do on the court. It all starts there. Like, that's where it starts, that's where it ends. But I think, like, all the in-between stuff matters, right? Like, think about Joel Embiid, right? Like, Joel Embiid, probably one of the greatest, most talented players the NBA has seen during his time in the league, at least as it relates to his position, right?
Yeah, pure raw talent, sure.
That's what I'm saying. I'm just saying pure raw talent. But all the other stuff, like the flopping, the consistent injuries, like all this other stuff, I think James Harden similar as well. Like, he doesn't have the same level of Joel Embiid doesn't either. LOL. But you know what I mean? Like, there are these guys that throughout history. I think Rick Barry is another example, right? Like a dude that is very, very elite at what they do, but maybe is not as well liked and is not as well respected.
He was a giant dick,
you know what I mean?
People didn't like him for it. Like, I think there was a mentality about this, and in particular the three that stand out. And this is no disrespect to Mike D'Antoni or Amari Stoudemire, but DT, Larry Fitzgerald, and Devin Booker, all who were in the arena last night, have an aura about them, both in the locker room, on the court, and off the court. And the loyalty plays a part in that greatness, like you're saying. I think the longer you're in one community, the longer they can embrace you, the more the legend builds. Like, we are people, across this globe that before the last 100 years, it was spoken word stories that were passed down, mythology. Like these people that get built up because there's stories surrounding them. And I think that that's what it is. I felt like almost everybody had a Diana Taurasi story yesterday. I was included as well. Her and Penny Taylor were the kindest people to my wife last year, spent like 25 minutes talking with her. They bonded over some personal things. DT's talking to me about being a spouse and how strong your spouse can be. And it was just unbelievable. And I think these stories, these connections, I have a few with Devin Booker, Larry Fitzgerald. These connections in a community raise that greatness and make it even more palpable. And I think that's why DT was so highly celebrated yesterday around town, why Larry was the weekend before, why Devin Booker eventually, as he's raised to the rafters or goes in the Hall of Fame, will get that same kind of attention and the stories and be beloved. So I just wanted to talk a little bit about greatness because it was on my mind. And I want to thank Greatness Behind the Mac.
Wait, I have a question for you, Espo.
Okay, fire away.
We kind of touched on this at the end of Mercury last night. If you have not seen that, go check it out.
Okay.
But when Devin Booker inevitably gets inducted into the Ring of Honor, right, has his jersey retired by the Phoenix Suns organization, in this future, if you were to rub the crystal ball or however you use a crystal ball, what number is up there, Espo? 1
Both.
or 15 or both?
I mean, look, if he has impact in the back half of his career wearing 15, you put both up.
I told Gil if he gets a ring with 15, you put 15 up, but any other result, you put up 1 up.
Look, you have to put up 1. He broke the franchise record in scoring and set all sorts of NBA milestones for his age. Was in a rarefied air with that. One goes up. The question is, what does he do in 15? Does he solidify that mythology? Does he stay here the rest of his career wearing 15? Do they make another run? I think if they're in the talk to be in the finals at some point in the rest of his career, you put both up. I think that is how you do. Hello says just put 115 up.
You could put 15 up.
115.
And as I said last night on the Mercury show, you can't put 15 up without a 1.
Yeah. I mean, you could put up his career point total if you decide to go different. Because you've got other people, but I think you're putting both up there if it happens. So, and hopefully we're talking about Jeremiyah Love with greatness at some point to bring it full circle. And ankle injury ain't gonna stop that. A big thank you to Greatness Behind the Mac, as I was saying, the dreads behind the desk. Kevo, follow Matt Kevo Post. You can follow the show at PHNX_SWB. That's PHNX_SWB. It's a new account. Go follow it, please. If you're listening on audio, give us a 5-star review. If you're watching here, hit that like button before you head out. And if you are watching after the live, leave a comment and tell us how you feel about Jeremiyah Love. And you can follow me at Espo as always. And remember, love hurts, but it's worth it. Ahoy, hoy.
We all silly like the mayor.